let's
Like
go.
she lost to Holly, complained and didn't give Holly any credit. She lost to Amanda, pouted out of there, and it wouldn't have been so bad if she didn't go on this whole campaign of never being a do nothing bitch, or being just like this. She was this role model to all these young girls, and then when she lost, she just turned her back on the entire community and shit talked everybody and turned her back. And now she's like, she wants love. It's like, yo, this sport would have loved you. She would have always have gotten a pop. She probably would have had a job in the UFC. Like, there's so much that she could have still been doing had she just accepted those losses and gave credit to Holly and Amanda.
UFC President Dana White and Joe Rogan has just dropped a massive bombshell message directed at none other than former bantamweight queen Ronda Rousey, and it all revolves around the undefeated British sensation Dakota Ditcheva.
She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She looks like a model. It has nothing to do with men beating each other up. There's nothing to do with brutishness. It has to do with high-level problem solving with dire physical consequences. But the early days were interesting because, like, you know, there was a lot of people disparaging women fighting, including Dana White.
When are we going to see women in the UFC, man?
Never.
Never?
Yeah, some people get disturbed watching women get bloodied up. That's a big one for some folks. It feels different. Obviously, I'm a big fan of women fighting, but when I watch a big cut on a woman, it feels different. It's so hard for people to not get emotional when they get hit. It's a very bad way to react in a fight, to fight with emotions, because you expose yourself. You leave yourself open for counters. You miss your rhythm. You're not as deceptive. You're too obvious in your pattern, and so many times you get hit a lot more. Yeah, it's a big problem with fighters. The smart thing to do is to fight with correct technique and with a correct strategy, meaning you have an understanding of how to execute best. It's not to just wade in and let bombs fly. You have to be very precise in your tactics. You got to be very smart.
After Rousey's controversial comments disrespecting the UFC and legends like Joe Rogan and Ariel Helwani, the MMA world is firing back with a clear warning. Dakota Ditcheva is ready to humble rowdy Ronda if she ever steps back and that cage stick around, because this drama is absolutely explosive.
She's a legend. I mean, I got nothing but love and respect for that lady. What she did was so impressive. She was the first legitimate female superstar. She made the UFC female division possible. If it wasn't for her, Dana was very open about never having female UFC fighters. It took someone that was that dynamic, that was that special, to open his eyes and go, you know what? I think this lady's a star. And to be the type, like when she said, like, I wasn't an expert, everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know, but you got to understand why she thinks like that. Because she has a champion mentality. You never fought, you ain't shit. You know, it's real simple.
That's why the football guys always do that. You didn't play? You're like, yeah, but I studied the sport.
Doesn't matter, you ain't shit. I get it. It's totally fine. You can't judge her, like, compare her to, like, Zhang Weili. Because, like, Zhang Weili, who was the 115-pound champion, she had a chance to watch all these other people, learn what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, what's effective, what's not effective. What Ronda had is world-class judo, world-class, bronze medalist in the Olympics. One of the best arm bars, period, in the sport, in the history of the sport. Her fucking arm bar, the technique was flawless. There's a fight with her and Kat Zingano. Kat Zingano launches at her, just fucking... Kat Zingano was an animal. Charges at her, full... Ronda catches her in an armbar in like 13 seconds. I don't remember the exact time. It was nuts, but it was perfect. Perfect technique. You know, you couldn't fuck with that. But then she fought Holly Holm. And when she fought Holly Holm, she was dealing with an elite boxer, an elite kickboxer, and a very physically strong woman who had an awesome game plan and who had a chance to study Ronda. And maybe more importantly, came from a great camp. And that camp, Jackson Winklejohn camp, one of the best camps in the world. John Jones came out of that camp. Donald Cerrone originally came out of that camp. A lot of great fighters came out of there. So they were really good at game planning. So they knew how Ronda likes to clinch. They knew how Ronda likes to set up her takedowns, and they knew, you know, what to avoid. And then on top of that, Holly's just an elite striker. So every time Ronda tried to close the distance, the striking that she was very effective with against guys like Betch Kohea, these fighters that were a lower tier. It's not going to be as effective with someone like Holly. And Holly started catching her on the feet and had her rocked and then landed that famous high kick and put her out.
Well, I think without Dana, its soul is gone. And
Dana is the heart. Dana is such an. I hope you and Dana are cool.
Oh, I love him so much. But yeah, with when Dana's done, I think the dominant MMA organization, that title will be up for grabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Dana is it. Without him, it's just 3 letters.
Let's set the stage here. Ronda Rousey has been making waves recently, and not in a good way. The former UFC champion launched a scathing attack on longtime UFC commentator Joe Rogan, questioning his expertise in combat sports and mocking his taekwondo background. She claimed Rogan was far from an expert when it comes to high-level fighting.
He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
All it takes is a text going, how long for me to train to beat Ronda?
He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
It's interesting.
Never fought.
He fought Taekwondo, right?
Never fought. That's not fighting. It's not fighting.
If anything, I think he's the kind of guy that, I remember one time there was some fighter that said something shitty about me. I was like, oh, no, he's a good guy. Don't worry about it. He says shit about me all the time. And I was like, really? And he's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, okay. The stuff like that, I think he'd probably say, yeah, you're right. I never fought. He's weird. He's a weird kind of level dude in that sense where I'm the opposite. I'd be like, wait, what? Ronda doesn't like me? But
I'll never send you a mean DM, okay? So you can take that fear out of your mind.
Okay.
We are past that level.
But it didn't stop there. Rousey has also made controversial statements about the UFC itself, claiming that without Dana White, the promotion is just 3 letters with no soul. While she praised White, her comments seemed to diminish the entire organization and everyone else who built it.
Ronda Rousey was doing an interview with Bert Kreischer, and Ronda said about Joe Rogan, she said, he's not an expert, he's a fan with an audience. That's great. That's great. Ronda went heel. Ronda turned heel on Rogan to Kreischer, who is Rogan's friend. Great. We're going to make some entertainment. My takeaway, though, as I sat and I watched that, is that it wasn't a performance. It wasn't a character in front of a camera that decided to go heel. I came away possibly being a mark, but believing that it was a real moment, that somebody had their feelings hurt and was now lashing out. And that's always been a piece to the Ronda story that has interested me, captivated me, bothered me. None of it's real.
UFC analyst Chael Sonnen even called out Rousey's inflated sense of her own stardom, stating she never held merchandise records, PPV records, or live gate records. He claimed the narrative of Ronda the Star is nothing more than a myth. These comments have rubbed a lot of people in the MMA community the wrong way, and now the backlash is coming hard and fast.
Hollywood bullshit. They were putting her in movies and TV shows, and she was on different talk shows.
What is the hype to
so
could she
interviews.
beat Cain Velasquez? Could she? And it's like, she deserves better than to go out the way, her last fight.
Well, she deserves exactly what she got. I think she really cemented her legacy as one of the greatest women's MMA champions ever and a pioneer. But I also think that women's MMA has evolved so fast that within the brief time that she was running shit, the sport passed her by.
Joe Rogan, being the class act he is, responded with grace, but didn't hold back on the truth. On his podcast, Rogan said he never had a bad thing to say about Ronda and still doesn't, but he made it clear that the game simply caught up to her. He referenced her devastating knockout losses to Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes, fights that ended her dominance and exposed her striking vulnerabilities.
She put it in the corner and moved on to something else. But when people did that to her, it was supposed to be some kind of like a grave insult, and it wasn't an insult at all. She doesn't have to go heel on Rogan if she wants to for performance reasons. It's very entertaining. But the part that she got wronged is the idea that everybody hates her. They don't hate her. They never loved her to start with.
Rogan praised Rousey's champion mentality, calling her an animal and saying if she were a man, she'd be Genghis Khan. But he also acknowledged reality. Rousey had her moment, and when elite strikers entered the division, her one-dimensional grappling game wasn't enough anymore.
It's such a misinformed, ill-advised take.
MMA fans and media are the most "what have you done for us lately" crowd of any sport. Like, you look at WWE and they have such a reverence for their legends. And at MMA, it's like the second that you're not on top, you're not shit and you never were shit.
She's not talking about UFC fans or MMA fans. She's talking about the organization, but she can't say it for whatever reason, so she'll blame it on the fans. The fans did nothing to you, Ronda Rousey, other than idolize you, other than adore you, other than treat you like a mega superstar that you deserve to be treated like. She was the face of the UFC, and she lost. And I remember the narrative after the fight. It wasn't she ain't shit, she never was shit. The narrative was, we should have seen this coming. Holly Holm was a Hall of Fame boxer. We probably should have given her a lot more respect. And then the next time we see her, she's getting off a plane, covering her face because she felt embarrassed, because she was such a gamer, such a competitive person that it crushed her. And that's okay. But guess what? UFC fans, whether she wants to believe it or not, and I didn't live it, but I can say this with the utmost certainty, they wanted to love her. She did not allow that. When she returned, she didn't do a single interview. She didn't attend media day. When we were sitting there waiting for the morning weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins, she snuck in, snuck out, and looked at all of us with disgust. She blamed all of us for it. The media, the fans, just because she lost. Some of the greatest MMA fighters of all time have, and most beloved and popular fighters of all time, have double-digit losses on their resumes. Conor lost to Nate Diaz. People liked him more after the loss. The way he stood there and met with the media and took his lumps and came back stronger. She could not be more wrong about this. And she continues to go on this media tour talking shit about the MMA fans and the MMA community, when in reality, her issue is with the way the UFC treats its legends, the way the UFC treats their own, comparing that to the WWE, which is a very valid point, by the way. But you're comparing two different things. The wrong thing is organization to organization, not fan base to fan base. You couldn't be more wrong.
Ariel Helwani and other MMA journalists have also weighed in, with many expressing disappointment in Rousey's recent attitude, the consensus. If you're going to talk big and disrespect the people who helped build your legacy, you better be ready to back it up.
And her opponent fighting out of the red corner. She's a Muay Thai specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in officially at 126 pounds and holds a professional record of 5 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of Manchester, England, Dakota Ditcheva.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated British Muay Thai specialist and rising MMA star, has emerged as the perfect answer to Rousey's trash talk. At just 26 years old, Ditcheva is tearing through her competition with devastating striking that would give prime Ronda Rousey absolute nightmares.
2 weeks beforehand, I slipped down the stairs, going to the car to get my scale, knocked myself out on the stairs, and tore my knee out, having the wrong mouth guard. It was like one of those things where everything went wrong beforehand. I was like so stressed out. My weight wouldn't come off. I had to like sweat out like 10, 15 pounds beforehand.
Wei Li with that right hand.
After having done it, it was very successful. In every way you measure success, Fight Island was successful. So, the people who were laughing and all the naysayers and the people who thought it couldn't be done.
Dana White drops massive praise on Zhang Weili as Dakota Ditcheva rumors swirl with Dana White calling Zhang Weili one of the greatest of all time and the best female fighter in the sport right now. The question on everyone's mind is inevitable. Could Magnum Zhang Weili be the ultimate test for PFL's undefeated phenom Dakota Dangerous Ditcheva?
wanted that belt more than anything. And, you know, I didn't know if there was going to be a knockout or a submission or something like that, but I knew I was begging people to watch that. You know me, man. When I sell fights, I don't beg anybody to watch anything. I was literally begging people to watch this fight.
Oh, we filming? I'm here with the champ. Ringside with the champ.
While Ditcheva dominates the PFL with her perfect 14-0 record and devastating knockout power, Zhang Weili has conquered the UFC's strawweight division and is now eyeing flyweight gold. If these two ever meet, it would be the super fight that determines the true queen of women's 125-pound MMA. Let's start with the woman everyone's talking about, Zhang Magnum Weili. And when Dana White puts you in the GOAT conversation, you know you're different. Here's her record: 26 wins, 3 losses. But it's not just the numbers. And here's why Zhang is the biggest threat to Dakota. She just vacated her strawweight title to move up to flyweight. She's coming for Valentina Shevchenko's belt, and the pros are terrified of her. At 36 years old, Magnum is in her absolute prime. Her striking differential against Amanda Lemos, 296 strikes to 29. That's not a fight, that's a statement. She outstruck Lemos by the largest margin in UFC women's history. When Dana White says greatest of all time, this is what he's talking about. But now, there's a problem for Zhang Weili, a big problem. Her name is Dakota Dangerous Ditcheva, 25 years old. I am from Manchester, England, and she's never lost. 15-0, perfect, unblemished, untouchable.
And her opponent fighting out of the red corner. She's a Muay Thai specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in officially at 126 pounds and holds a professional record of 5 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of Manchester, England, Dakota Ditcheva.
It goes up and keep spit it out because the pain ain't cheap. Preach. And the body Dakota Ditcheva with a quick serve.
This isn't some hype job. Dakota was born into combat sports. Her mother, Lisa Howarth, multiple-time world kickboxing champion. Her father, Ivo Ditchev, from Bulgaria, martial artist. Dakota was a 3-time Muay Thai world champion before she even turned pro in MMA. She won gold at the 2016 IFMA World Championships at just 17 years old. And here's her calling card: body shots. She doesn't just knock you out, she breaks you. Liver shots, solar plexus, ribs. Dakota attacks the body with surgical precision. 4 of her last fights ended with body punch TKOs. Fighters just fold in half when she lands. And that Taila Santos victory, that's the one that put the world on notice. Santos went to war with Valentina Shevchenko twice. She's tough as nails. Dakota finished her in under 2 rounds and became the first person to ever stop her. That's when everyone realized this girl is different.
Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for the championship.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Zhang Magnum, Wiley versus Dakota Dangerous Ditcheva. GOAT status versus perfect record. Experience versus youth legend versus future. Dakota, 15 fights. But here's the thing that should terrify Zhang. Dakota's never even been in trouble. She's finishing everyone in rounds 1 or 2. The longest she's ever fought is 3 rounds, and that was a dominant decision over Sumiko Inaba. She's never been tested. Zhang is 36 years old, still elite, still dangerous, but she's been in wars. That body's got mileage. She's moving up to flyweight. That means cutting less weight, but she's not naturally this big. Dakota is 25. She's in her prime. She's taller, longer reach, naturally bigger. This is her weight class. She's been at flyweight her entire career. That size advantage is real. Dakota, 1 submission win, a rear naked choke against Malin Hermansen. But here's what matters. She's never been taken down and held. She's got great takedown defense, and she trains BJJ. She's not helpless on the ground, but this is Zhang's advantage if she can get it there.
Okay, you've got to get busy here. You've got to show me something.
So let's talk strategy. How does each fighter win this super fight? Zhang's been in absolute war with the best in the world. She knows how to survive, adjust, and finish strong. That championship mentality could be the difference. Dakota's game plan is simple, and simple often wins fights. And here's Dakota's secret weapon, power. Zhang's tough, Zhang's elite. But if Dakota lands that body shot flush, it doesn't matter how tough you are. Your body shuts down. Ask Tyla Santos. Ask Chelsea Hackett. Ask Cornelia Holm. They all folded. Plus, Dakota's fresh. She's 25. She hasn't been in wars. Her body's pristine. Zhang. She's been in absolute battles with Joanna, Rose, and everyone else that wear and tear matters when you're moving up in weight at 36. So here we are, the question that started this whole video. Zhang Weili is the biggest threat to Dakota Ditcheva. Dana White calls her the greatest of all time. She would beat everybody on the planet. But can she beat Dakota Ditcheva?
她跟别人不一样的地方。梦想就是一个梦想嘛，现在人家实现。
Zhang Weili makes history! Oh my word!
Here's my answer. Yes, Dakota can beat Zhang Weili. And here's why I believe that. Look, Zhang Magnum Wiley is absolutely one of the greatest women's MMA fighters of all time, top 3, no debate. What she's accomplished is legendary, but styles make fights, and this matchup favors Dakota.
My name is Zhang Weili. I'm from China. Remember me?
The weight class Zhang's moving up at 36 years old. Dakota's been at flyweight her whole career. She's the naturally bigger, longer, stronger fighter. The power Dakota has 12 KOs in 15 fights. That's an 80% finish rate. Zhang's tough, but those body shots are different. They shut your body down.
Kicking the brakes off of girls.
Almost landed flush. Hayton's having to weather an early storm here. Tries that kick in, and that's her.
Young talents in all of MMA. This girl's a demon. They say she's the next Ronda Rousey. Check it out.
She's hurt to the body. That's it. Rich Mitchell waves it on. That's a TKO victory.
Ditcheva silences the doubters.
Let's go. Give it up. Please welcome the undefeated PFL Women's Flyweight 13-0 Dangerous Dakota Ditcheva. Hello, 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 hello. So she won the PFL European title last year, and in just a few weeks ago qualified to fight for the PFL global title and $1 million in November. If and when you win the $1 million, do you have something that you want to buy?
Not really, no. I just want the belt, if I'm honest, Jake.
Let's go. I respect that. Now, some people compare you to Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm. Who would win, Prime Ronda or Prime Dakota?
Prime Dakota, 100%.
Let's go. You heard it.
100%.
I would love to see that one.
Dakota Ditcheva, who looked very impressive, who remains undefeated, who is from a Muay Thai background, but scored a sub on Saturday and seems to be someone that the PFL, Europe or not, is very much behind. She's joining us right now. Let us say hello for the first time to Dakota. Hello, Dakota. How are you?
Hi, I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy.
Well, congratulations on the win and everything that's going on for you. Did it feel like you are one of the faces of this whole PFL Europe push for them? And were you feeling that pressure going into this fight on Saturday?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel more pressure coming on here, Ariel.
Come on, I don't believe that, but thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah, I did. This is like the first show that I've kind of co-headlined, and I've been on PFL before, but on the undercard for the $1 million tournament. So I haven't felt like the pressure that I did this time. It was obviously back at home in Newcastle, in the UK. So I had a home crowd. My face was kind of everywhere I went. There was PFL posters with my face on it. So I did definitely feel the pressure a lot more this time.
Dakota Ditcheva has just dropped an absolute bombshell that's sending shockwaves through the entire combat sports universe. The undefeated British sensation is making waves by claiming that Prime Dakota is better than Prime Ronda Rousey. And she's got UFC legends backing her up.
Ronda was the one that broke the barrier and got women into the UFC.
Dana White privilege. Dakota Ditcheva has been talked about in the same breath as Ronda Rousey.
She has the potential to be a superstar. She understands the media game, right? She knows exactly when to switch off that savage and become the sweetheart again. She's got the look, she's got the charisma. And when you have that, plus the ability to knock women out, like she does, disguise the
UFC veteran Dan Hardy just declared that Dakota Ditcheva is more well-rounded than Ronda Rousey ever was. Jake Paul is comparing her to Rowdy herself. And Dana White, he's reportedly stunned by this rising star who's capturing attention like no female fighter since Rousey's reign.
Come on in.
Down the fence. Oh,
we're ready.
So long and rangy.
Oh, put away.
Oh,
what a power.
Sure.
Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again.
With a perfect 15-0 record and a fresh $1 million PFL tournament victory under her belt, the 26-year-old Manchester native is making bold claims that Prime Dakota would dominate Prime Ronda. Is Dakota Ditcheva the real deal, or is this all hype? Let's break down everything you need to know about MMA's newest superstar and her shocking declaration.
And her opponent fighting out of the red corner. She's a Muay Thai specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in officially at 126 pounds and holds a professional record of 5 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of Manchester, England, Dakota Ditcheva.
Dakota Ditcheva is a 26-year-old fighter from Manchester, England, who's taken the MMA world by storm with a flawless 15-0 professional record. But here's what makes her special. She's not just winning, she's destroying her competition. In November, she delivered her biggest performance yet, stopping former UFC title challenger Taila Santos in the second round to claim the PFL Women's Flyweight World title.
He's for sure. Santos is in big trouble.
Yeah, she can go after you off.
They gotta go. And then we gotta get to do a bunch of stuff. Take a seat. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Wanna go trending? Yeah. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. What's up, Gordon? So good, so good, so good. So good.
Oh, palm kicks, all them elbows. Thanks for taking all them shots.
And that sweet $1 million prize. She became the first British woman to win an MMA world title. First ever. With 15 straight wins and 0 losses, Dakota isn't just building a resume, she's building a legacy. Now here's where things get absolutely wild. Dakota Ditcheva has made a statement that's got the entire MMA community talking. She believes that Prime Dakota would beat Prime Ronda Rousey.
Some people compare you to Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm. Who would win, Prime Ronda or Prime Dakota?
Prime Dakota, 100%.
Let's go, you heard it.
100%.
I would love to see that one.
Dakota has always been respectful about Rousey, stating, "When I first started my career in MMA, when I first fought even as an amateur, I had an article go viral where someone compared me to Ronda Rousey. She was someone that I looked up to from the very beginning, so it's nice to have my name mentioned alongside her."
At a level that nobody else could have ever done it. And while she was doing what she was doing, building the sport and the UFC and women, all these other women were training to beat her. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She had taken so much on her shoulders at the time, it was literally impossible for her to keep growing as a fighter during that period.
But make no mistake, Dakota isn't just happy to be compared to Rousey anymore, she's declaring herself as the better version. She believes that with her well-rounded skill set, striking power, and complete MMA game, Prime Dakota would have the tools to beat Prime Ronda. And you know what? She's got some major voices in the MMA world agreeing with her. UFC legend and current PFL head of fighter operations in Europe, Dan Hardy, just made a statement that validates everything Dakota has been saying. Hardy told Bloody Elbow, "Ronda was a pioneer in martial arts, women's martial arts in particular, but the reason why she was so effective is because she was particularly overwhelming in one range, right? Like, she came in, she grabbed a hold of somebody, threw them to the floor, and wrenched their arm off."
And, you know, Ronda was a pioneer in mixed martial arts, women's mixed martial arts in particular. But the reason why she was so effective is because she was particularly overwhelming in one range, right? Like, she came in, she grabbed a hold of somebody, she threw them to the floor and wrenched their arm off.
But then Hardy dropped this bombshell. Whereas Dakota, over the last 2 years, has also shown that she's a fully well-rounded MMA fighter. I think that's another thing that gives people a lot of confidence that she could compete with anyone in the world. You know, she can grapple and stay safe if she hits the floor with a world-class jiu-jitsu player.
Whereas Dakota, over the last 2 years, has also showed that she's a fully well-rounded MMA fighter. And I think that's another thing that gives people a lot of confidence that she could compete with anybody in the world, is that, you know, she can grapple, she can stay safe if she hits the floor with, you know, a world-class jiu-jitsu player. And
Hardy continued, "And her takedown defense, coupled with those Muay Thai knees, could put anybody away. And she's also got the frame that's perfect for this weight class. I could make the argument right now that she could beat anybody in this weight class on the planet."
And, you know, her takedown offense coupled with those Muay Thai knees could put anybody away. And she's also got the frame that's perfect for this weight class. You know, I could make an argument right now that she'd beat anybody in this weight class on the planet.
Did you catch that? Anybody in this weight class on the planet. That's a UFC legend essentially confirming Dakota's claim. Hardy is saying that Dakota's complete skill set, her striking, her takedown defense, and her ability to compete anywhere the fight goes, makes her more dangerous than Ronda ever was. The key difference, Rousey had one overwhelming strength. Dakota has multiple weapons and can win fights anywhere. Hardy even said, "It doesn't matter what fighter in the world in the weight class, you just look at it and go, I can just see Dakota cutting through every single person." Even at bantamweight as well, she's got the frame and the reach to move up a weight class at some point and start dominating there as well.
It doesn't matter what fighter in the world in that weight class, you just look at it and you go, I could just see Dakota cutting through every single person. You know, even up at bantamweight as well, she's got the frame and the reach to be able to move up a weight class at some point and start dominating there as well.
Jake Paul himself drew comparisons between Dakota and Ronda Rousey during a major PFL press conference. That's huge validation from one of the biggest names in combat sports. UFC commentator Sean O'Connell explained, "She has the potential to be a superstar, but not for the same reasons as Ronda Rousey. Ronda was the pioneer. Ronda was the one that broke the barrier and got women into the UFC.